Okay, real quick. Autry Denson will not be at the game. He's got a family matter, so him and his family are in our prayers. He'll be back on Monday. Spencer Whipple will take over his responsibilities on game day. Injury-wise, Max is still working through the protocol. Zay Weaver had a good day, and we should be good to go. Got to have a good Friday here. What do we got?
Is there any concern about Kyler showing up on the injury report?
No, all good.
Have you guys gotten any more clarity on Jonah?
No.
Where has that, I'm not going to too big explanation on the protocol, but of course he was out there a little bit yesterday, so that's allowed until he's totally clear with Max.
Yeah, that's part of his protocol. Every case is different with that. As the week goes on, everybody's a little bit different how they handle that. There's steps and checks and balances, which there should be, obviously. Part of that was he was allowed to be out there while he was in the jersey that he was in. Didn't really want a lot of contact with him. That's one of the reasons, but he had a good day.
A veteran like Beach, is there anything you need to say, or is it just?
No, he's good to go. I saw him this morning. He was contrasting in the water therapy room. He's ready to go, like he normally does at 5:30 in the morning every day.
I know you guys signed Okwara. I'm just wondering do you see a role for him, or is it just what have you seen in the little time that you've had him?
Yeah, he sets violent edges. He's extremely intelligent, and he can rush. So we'll see as we move forward here.
What did you learn about the NFC West last year through your time playing those games?
Those three teams were better than us.
Do you feel like this week of practice has been any different now that you have a game underneath your belt?
Yeah, I do actually. That's a good question, Donnie. I was telling the coaches, you learn a little bit about your team. You see the vibe of what it looks like on Wednesday, Thursday, and then today. I think after the first game, I think there's probably, some guys adjust their 5 buckets, what they feel they need to do during a week to get ready to go. To improve, you know what I mean? And whatever the result was, you're always trying to do that in a certain way, And I thought our response was the applicable response to improve.
With Michael Carter wearing the jersey this week, what goes into the coach's decision on who to pick for that?
I pick it from the course of the week.
But in terms of evaluation, I don't know how much you want to go into what enters your mind in terms of what a player has to do to
basically give really good effort, do exactly what they're coached to do, team over you. That's what I'm kind of looking for there. He had a hell of a week last week. He made some plays in practice. That's what playmaking. That's what I'm looking for there. Who's giving a great look.
You said a couple weeks ago with that this year that you're going to add a little sauce to it. I think you said you guys will like what we see.
That's behind closed doors, the sauce part. Yeah. No, you'll see the jersey.
What are you seeing as the biggest difference between Paris Johnson this year?
I can't say, Howard, but we do some things behind closed doors in the team meeting. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a false by me. The players like what they see behind closed doors with that. There you go.
What do you see?
I actually thought they were going to have Tillman on it, like how everybody put it. You know what I mean? But then talking to, Schwim does an excellent job, and Schwim, he's like, Jonathan, you go from running back to D-line to O-line to say, it's hard for him to get it turned over that quick. You know what I mean? So I was like, don't worry about it. But, that award means a lot to the guys in the locker room. Go ahead, Teo.
What do you see as the biggest difference between Paris Johnson this year and last year? It seemed like he had a really strong one.
Yeah, he did. He played well. I don't know. Just, going from year 1 to year 2 and learning from all the reps that he had through 17 games. I don't think he missed a rep, right? Or a game. Am I correct on that? That's a lot of game reps versus a lot of different opponents. Playing in a premier position. you know, he learned a lot from that year, I think, and he's starting to make the jump, you know. And he puts a lot on himself, and then take the fact that he moved positions too, you know. But I thought he's doing well. I think it's a better question probably for Clayton, but I do know this. He's developed his process that works for him on how to study. Because I think rookies, that's a different thing. You know what I mean? Like, what do I look at? How do I do it? Do I look at just the rushers? Do I look, you know, do I go back 2 years, 3 years, one game? You know, so and everybody's a little bit different. But I know that he's kind of honed in on what I think works for him, which took some time, which for rookies is natural. And I think that's going to continue to help him.
Do you guys teach the rookies how to watch film at the NFL?
Give them a guideline. Give them a guideline. Everybody's different. You know what I mean? Every position coach is different, but every guy is different. I think that's literally, if you got 10 guys in your room, all 10 are probably a little bit different. You know what I mean? But you can give them a guideline, and you can sit down with them and show them and ask them. And, you know, certain guys work off checklists. Certain guys work off, you know, how they segment it throughout the week, what they watch on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know. Me personally, I wasn't huge on watch for DBs watching things on Saturday. Like, I thought it was probably too much. Cut it off by now. You know what I mean? So everybody's a little bit different. It's kind of a cool process. That's a good question.
When you're looking at, you know, whether you're going to move it, switch a guy's position going into his second year, is it helpful to have that kind of level of intelligence that you're talking about?
Like with Paris, you mean? Yeah. Yeah, I think that would help. I think when we look at doing that, always during the year too. You know, during training camp, during the year, it'll happen this year. I guarantee it. At some point, you know, who do we have? Who do they have? What's the best way to set up to try to win a game? You know what I mean? So. When we did Paris, obviously we thought that was the best thing for the offense and the team moving forward as we got going. But during the year, that's going to happen. You know, you start having to plug and play certain guys, and the intelligence that you talked about, that's critical, because to get your best 11 out there, or certain groups or whatever, guys got to be able to understand those things too, that what needs to get done with those positions. So, yeah, it's a huge factor in moving guys around. Intelligence. That's a good question too. You guys are on fire today on Friday.
How have you seen Trey McBride kind of embrace this newfound standing in the NFL?
He's like this, man. I mean, he just goes about his day. He hasn't changed since the first OTA one in 2023. Like, he's a worker, man. He loves ball. He's in the meeting room. He works on his 5 buckets continuously. It's hard for him to come out of the game. Like, he don't want to come out of the game. You know what I mean? He's consistent as they come.
How do you think being around all those other guys that tied into you helped them?
Ask him. I don't know.
When you talk about filling the 5 buckets from week to week, is that something you want filled evenly or focused on?
No, every guy's different. Every guy's different. You know, and then I think that, but they all work together, but they're all different. So as far as buckets are all different, but they all work together. And then each guy, depending on the week, is a little bit different, you know. But the main thing for those guys is to have, I talk about self-awareness and consistency to know where you got to pour your energy in. You only got so much energy in a day. Like, so if you're filling that cup, something's getting pushed out. So you got to be selective and intentional about what you're using, what you're doing with your time.
With a guy like Rabbit, during the preseason, he was playing a lot, and then when you have Buddha and JT out there, his opportunities aren't going to be as much, I guess you could say. What do you tell a rookie like that got a taste of what it could be, and now he's
keep working to improve your game every day? That's what I'm looking for from him. You know what I mean? Anytime we practice, are you improving? You know, and he's done a good job with that, and he knows he's got to be ready to go like that. You know, he'll get on the field.
Coach, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.